Wow.
That's a phenomenal question.
I love that.
Yeah.
I ain't even from Brooklyn. That's good.
Brooklyn
Come on.
culture.
You might also share about Nigeria.
Oh, come on.
Us. Biggest change.
Oh, these kids are from Brooklyn. The Maximals. are in
Maximals,
it.
yeah, Maximals. I don't know if you know. Yeah, Maximals.
Yeah, black and brown people.
Yeah.
You know, that too, right?
Yeah, I think one of the big things, and now that we can spoil and talk about it now that the trailer is out, is that this idea that till all are one and there's more than these guys and meets the eye. I think we always looked at it as like the robots being in disguise, but I think it also falls on the humans too. One in particular is Noah in the film, and realizing that he's a hero as well, and there is something more than meets the eye to what you see on the surface. And so for him to become a transformer at the end of the movie is really cool, but also important in terms of his character arc and feeling like nobody at the start. And I feel like I can relate to that, and I hope other people do as well. So that was important, and I feel like, you know, something we left behind with this one.
Well, it's great anytime you bring a new director and you're going to get a new point of view, you know. The reason we hired Steven was, in his work, he has a great sense of humanity. And I think it's really important that you find the human connection to these characters. And the more we can find the connection, the more satisfying the movie is. And so, thankfully, he proved me right about that and really created that emotional bond.
Wow. That's,
That's a phenomenal
I
question.
love that.
Yeah.
I ain't even from Brooklyn. That's good.
Brooklyn
Come on.
culture.
You might also share about Nigeria.
Oh, come on.
I mean, music, right? The music. What do you say now?
The friendship, the slang, the relatability to one another, the humor. There's like a moment. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well just spoil it. Okay.
Oh, it's like
Which
well,
one?
it was when we were shooting in the museum, and then it's like we kind of did like the jug thing, you know.
Which one?
It's when the character is running from another character, and then they do that like funny. You know what I'm talking about? The funny movement. No, I can't say over it.
Yeah, I mean when I heard the Brooklyn when I heard the Biggie song in the
trailer.
in the
That was
trailer,
fire.
that was crazy. I had chills, man. Like, you know.
Or even like DMX. My dad used to pick me up in his Jeep all the time when I was like 6, and he always had DMX playing. That's like a big part of my Brooklyn childhood and the 90s. And so to have that also be one of the trailers and just be infused in it. Now our families are gonna see it, and yeah, it's amazing.
Well, you know, I'm not from Brooklyn, but being, you know what I'm saying, first generation born Nigerian. Yeah, there's never been anybody who come from where I come from, who grew up the way I grew up, that's a part of a franchise like this. So to be able to just represent and, you know what I'm saying, just utilize my talents and skills in a franchise like this is monumental.
Yeah, no, I think it's a mixture of it, you know, in terms of the Brooklyn culture. I think specifically with Anthony being a Puerto Rican and you know, alive and born in the 90s, I think he felt like he was really doing something special with his family in terms of like not seeing people like him on screen before. And the same for Dominique Fishback, who plays a very intelligent character. She works at a museum. She's smarter than her boss, has this glass ceiling. She feels super relatable, and on top of that, I think culturally just something we just haven't seen on these type of movies before, so yeah.
Well, we try to give the audience an experience of different cultures. In every movie we've been able to do that. So we not only give the Brooklyn culture, we also give the Peruvian culture. So that's part of the experience of seeing a Transformers movie. I think, look, every big movie chooses different things. For us, we try to treat it as real as it could possibly be. I mean, they look like real cars, and when they stand up, if you would, it feels like metal. It feels like those are headlights, those are, windshield, etc. So I think it's one of the reasons why the franchise has remained strong is because we treat it so real. And I think the audience then can put themselves in a world where the world is what they recognize, and the extraordinary thing is the Transformers.
Yeah, no, that was a tough one. I mean, I think for me it was trying to balance what I do best, which is try to make a film that has a texture in it, feels grounded, a little bit of grit. And when you're dealing with a movie that's in the 1990s, which felt like a grittier time, especially in New York City, we wanted to make sure the robots weren't as polished. They had little dents in them and scratches, and if they had a fight, that actually stood with them in robot form. And like having those kind of rules help establish and bring a different tone and style or visual style to the designs of the robots, how we played our action and everything else. So that was big for me, trying to make sure it felt real in that sense.